There are lots of good reasons to recycle. Recycling saves energy, cuts down on pollution, and conserves natural resources. It really doesn't take that much effort, and the end results benefit us all. Let's take a look at all of the items that can be recycled. Mixed papers, newspapers, cardboard, cereal boxes, plastic bottles, plastic jugs, milk and juice cartons, steel cans, and aluminum. Every item that we recycle is one less thing that ends up in a landfill. But have you ever wondered what happens to all of the recyclables you take out to the curb or to your local recycling center? Well, today we're going to show you what happens to the things you recycle and how recyclables, like this newspaper, make the journey from being discarded waste to becoming a useful new product. The problem of what to do with our trash is enormous. The average person throws away about 4 pounds of garbage per day. That's 1,600 pounds a year. That's about what a horse weighs, a big horse. Think about all the space that takes up. Today our trash is either burned or buried. Both these methods can cause environmental problems like air pollution, water pollution, and new landfills take up valuable open space. Recycling not only makes environmental sense, but economic sense too. In many cases, the material in each recyclable item can be manufactured into new products using far less raw materials and energy than it takes to create new ones, ready to be reused at far less cost than it would take to start from scratch. This also reduces our dependence on foreign oil and conserves our precious natural resources. Some things can be recycled easily, like paper. Every week in Massachusetts, we throw out almost 1 million newspapers that could easily be recycled. If we recycled all those papers, it would save tens of thousands of trees every year. Plastic is another example. In Massachusetts, we use more than 9,000 plastic bottles every minute. Every minute! But only about 25% of them are recycled. Get the idea? So what happens after your recyclables get picked up or dropped off? They end up at a materials recycling facility, or MRF, like this one in Springfield. This facility accepts materials from about 100 communities in western Massachusetts. Let's follow a load of recyclables as they go through the center and are sorted and prepared for delivery to manufacturers who will use them instead of virgin materials in their production of new items. Almost half of our waste stream is paper, and that's why almost 70% of the total material processed here is some type of paper. Most paper is recycled back into new paper products. You've seen items in the store, like these paper towels made from recycled paper. Most daily newspapers are printed on recycled paper. Let's take a look at what happens to all that paper. The process begins when the truck tips paper onto the floor. The paper goes to a sorting room where it is sorted into cardboard and mixed paper, magazines, newspapers, and junk mail. Once it is sorted, it goes to a baling machine. As the name implies, this is an industrial-strength compactor that compresses the paper into big cubes called bales, which are easier to store and transport. A lot of the paper from this MRF gets recycled into the paper used in telephone books. Next, the truck tips the bottles and cans. This includes all kinds of food and beverage containers, plastic, glass, metal, and coated paper, like juice boxes and milk cartons. Everything moves along a conveyor belt. First, sorters remove large objects and plastic bags, which cannot be recycled because they get caught in the machinery. They also pull out the things that can't be recycled here, like these plastic containers, as well as pizza boxes, styrofoam, planting pots, and wire hangers. These items can't be recycled in this program because either there is no market available to sell them to, or the technology doesn't exist to recycle them. Hopefully in the future this will change and many more items will be recyclable. In the meantime, we should all try to reduce the amount of waste we create and reuse as much as possible. For example, plastic pots can be returned to the garden center, plastic bags can be reused many times, many supermarkets recycle them, and wire hangers can be reused or returned to the dry cleaners. This is a giant belt magnet that attracts and sorts all the steel cans that come into the recycling facility. Tin cans are actually made of steel, but coated with tin so they don't rust. Since magnets don't attract aluminum, the aluminum cans are sorted by what's called an eddy current separator that zaps them with an electrical current to throw them off the line. A tube then carries the cans to a holding container, which is emptied into a baling machine when it's full. Cans and bottles aren't refilled. They are melted down first, then remade into new products. A MRF like this one is just the first step in that process. All the glass is sorted by color: brown, clear, and green. It is then crushed for efficient transport to a remanufacturing facility where it is melted down and made into new glass products. All of the plastics are hand sorted by number. The MRF can take plastic tubs, jars, and bottles that are numbered 1 through 7. If you look at the bottom of the container, you can find the number. Like this water bottle is a number 1 plastic. Recycled plastics are in all sorts of things. Some you'd expect, like new bottles and containers, and some you wouldn't. If you have a synthetic fleece jacket, you might be surprised to know that the fabric is made in part from recycled plastic. You can see there are still more items that need to be sorted and separated, such as these juice boxes and milk cartons. These are made of paper and are recycled into tissue papers. Eventually, each material is separated and packaged for shipping to a manufacturing facility. During the next part of the process, the materials are broken down to their basic raw material form. This may include grinding, melting, or other processes to make the materials reusable. The materials that are processed in the MRF eventually end up in a facility like this. Here we can see how the glass that was processed in Massachusetts is melted down to make new products, in this case bottles. Or at another plant, newspapers are combined with liquids to make a pulp, which in turn becomes the base for new paper products. Many of these companies are located in Massachusetts and provide quality jobs and economic benefits to the state. Making smart choices while shopping is another way we can help the environment. When we buy products made from recycled materials, we close the recycling loop. Just take a look at your own home. How many items are there that contain at least some recycled products? I bet more than you'd expect. We can also help to reduce trash when we choose to buy items with the least amount of packaging and products that can be used over and over rather than thrown out after just one use. Recycling is one thing everybody can do to help our environment. Just a little effort by everyone can make a big difference for all of us. When we recycle, everyone wins.